appreciate if you have a big group coming over, make sure sometimes people don't put cards in them. They just bring a bottle in a bag or something like that. So try to acknowledge everyone's gift and make sure they understood that you brought it specifically and at least mention the type of wine. Hey, I really appreciate the Mondavi Bourbon Barrel Cab. So that way they know their gift was acknowledged and appreciated.
Hey, Greg.
Hey, Deb.
I really appreciate this Mondavi Bourbon Barrel Cab.
I knew you girls would like this.
It is splendid.
I figured we'd
really
have a few more people here to share it with. So I'm getting a little glow. I was working all day today, and I haven't had dinner yet. I'm eating Peg after the show for dinner, so I haven't even had dinner yet. So.
I haven't either, so we're in the same boat.
I knew I was coming.
I get to go home to my Italian wedding soup that I made.
Ooh.
For all the listeners out there, this being Halloween, I got one Halloween size Nestle's Crunch, and
it's a trick or treat.
Deb told me this was for me, and I said, "Is this it? This is all I get?"
But what about your pencil?
Oh, I got a pen. I thought that was just laying
No,
around.
that's for you too.
Oh my gosh.
It's a Halloween pencil.
You thought so little about this and gave it to me.
No, Greg, that took a lot of consideration.
It is a number 2.
Not everybody.
I do actually use
pencils.
a lot of pencils. I'm probably one of the last bastion.
We use pencils here.
Schedule writers that don't do it on the computer. I have to write 2 schedules every week for both of the restaurants that I'm involved in, and I usually start up every day with 4 sharpened pencils when I get going. So
I love pencils.
I appreciate it. I didn't know that was my gift.
Yes.
Holy smokes. So I got a candy bar, listeners, and I got a pencil.
And not just any pencil.
Pow.
It's a Halloween pencil. It's a special pencil.
It is.
All right. Okay. It's pretty special. All right.
So I like what you said about Pinot Grigio for crackers. You know, before we eat dinner on Thanksgiving, I always like to do grapes and crackers and like a brie maybe, and a Pinot Grigio is just perfect for that.
Particularly an Italian one, because if you like it lighter, get into a Californian one. If you like a little heavier style, get into that Italian one. The one we are now serving by the glass at Vino is called Baronfini. And it's a really, really nice one. It's a true Italian Pinot Grigio. Pinot Grigio, its origins are Italy, and then everything works backwards from there. Typically thought of by a lot of people as more of a summertime wine because it's always very crisp and very tropical and kind of floral.
It is my favorite white wine. Pinot Grigio is. I love it.
Mine too. But, I really think that because we have those light snacks during the day, sometimes we get into more heavier food during the evening, and we need to somehow have a intermission wine between the heavier wine and a lighter wine.
He told us.
Yes.
Well, in a true Italian style, Prosecco is that intermission wine. They kind of drink it with everything, but Prosecco, especially in a city like Bay City, isn't really the mecca of understanding. Prosecco is a sparkling, kind of a really light in nature. When I say sparkling, it's more frizzante. It's fizzy versus being full-blown sparkling. But a lot of Americans would find it almost tasteless. It doesn't have a whole lot of taste to it. It has character, but you have to kind of understand it a little bit to understand the nature of it. So it's kind
delicate.
It's very delicate. It's sometimes can be like an intermezzo where you would have it between courses as a palate cleanser or something like that.
Yeah, nice.
But Prosecco would be kind
of
an
an all-time. You have to try it now.
I do.
Like an anytime sort of a wine.
It's anytime sort of a wine. That's my new motto.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime sort of a wine.
There must be a wine for everything.
There is.
I've been into soups lately, lots of soups.
Oh, us too, yeah. This is my fit. That's why I like this time of year.
That's why I started getting into the soups, the
bone broth. Are you
ones.
making bone broth and stuff?
Well, actually, I've been grabbing a can. And make myself a...
Girl, you need to make your own.
Oh, jeez.
We make our own bone broth. Yes, you do. You put a bunch of stuff in a pot and cook it for 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At Vino Wine, Tracy Murray, one of our 2 key chefs in the kitchen there, she loves to whip up soup, and she's always making something unique.
Oh, I love soup.
Steak and potato soup, I think, is what we had today. The other day we had a chicken and dumpling soup, tortilla soup, beer soup, you name it. They're always using those leftovers and coming up with some kind of crafty way to sell them.
I do clean out the refrigerator soup, and it's really good, but it turns out different every single time.
Was the beer soup a leftover?
Oh no, that beer it's a beer soup that we've been making for a while.
That sounds German.
And it has a little bit of craft beer in it and a little bit of cheese in it, and we actually take small miniature pretzels and put them on top of it.
Get out.
Yeah, it's good. It's really good. Kind of hearty.
Wednesday I'll be drinking soup. I'll be
that sounds interesting. So speaking of Wednesday, the first Wednesday of every month is Divas Night Out, and it's the Devolution Project meeting. So this coming Wednesday, November 2nd at 6 o'clock, we will be at 510 East Midland Street for Divas Night Out.
Yes.
And we decided last month to only do a Christmas project, so we're going to be talking about that a little bit while we're there. Coming up also, we have a lot of stuff going on in November. It's going to be a very, very busy month.
Yes.
We have Maximize Your Medicare here at the studio at 1017 Washington Avenue with J.O. He wrote the book about Medicare, and I see other places that he appears. He charges $5 to $10 for his expertise, and we're doing a community outreach program for free. So come here on the 9th. It's the day after Election Day at 5:30 to get information from J.O. And I'm telling you, if you have any questions, if anybody you know, anybody you love, anybody in your family is on Medicare, you should be here because it's a very complicated thing. What about your mom, Greg? Are you comfortable with all the facets of Medicare?
Oh yeah, it's kind of been tough to figure out and help her with it.
It's just a
slippery slope. And I heard on the news today that for everybody out there that this whole Obamacare thing is going to go ramp up to the tune of about 25% into the coming year, regardless of who gets elected. So that's going to be interesting. But with my mom being 79, she's always probing around and this changing and that changing.
Right.
And
so
tough.
You have to make sure that your parents, your aunts and uncles, whoever has the best Medicare coverage that you can get. And it's open enrollment right now. It's over. I believe it's December 17th that it's over. And now is the time that you can change your plan. Or if you're just turning 65, it's the time that you can enroll. But of course, if you're turning 65, you can enroll anytime. But it's very complicated, and it's very important because even the terminology is different. Yeah. So it's important that you understand it.
And it's good to have him here to answer our
right.
questions.
And he knows while you wrote the book on it. So we're having a psychic party on November 12th. And I have to give you a phone number to call if you're interested in that. We're also having vendors. We're having a couple things with vendors. We're having a shopping day on Black Friday.
I'll be here.
If you are interested in participating in that, please call the studio at 989-402-4627 and let us know. The tables are only $10. And we have 2 rooms that we'd like to fill up on that. And that's fun. We used to do it at the stables, but now since we have more room, we're going to do it here at the studio.
Won't smell like smoke.
Right. Yeah, that was the bad thing about there. We smelled like cigars. The Diva Book Club meets every Monday at 6:30, and that is really fun. Right now we're reading The Fifth Agreement. After this, we're reading Devolution, the Evolution and Revolution of the Diva. And then starting in January, we're reading The Artist's Way. So all really good books. Lots of fun things coming up. Also starting in January is De-Junk the Trunk. It's Cleanse Your Life in 60 Days. So that's a really good way to start out your new year. And it's about clean eating. It's about cleaning out your pantry. It's about cleaning out your closet. It's about cleaning out your life. So that's a really fun thing. That's going to be on Mondays starting in January. If you want any information on anything that we talk about, please don't hesitate to call the studio. That number is 989-402-4627. The Women to Women Expo is coming to Birch Run on the 19th and 20th of November. And that is always really fun. We are going to have a booth there. We're going to be broadcasting live. I'm going to be doing a presentation on Sunday probably. And we love it there. It's just It's really fun. And they have tons of vendors this year. So you should check that out too. Girls on the Run is on November 19th. There's a parade, the Thanksgiving parade, and then the 5K. And if you would like to be a running buddy, again, call the studio and I'll get you hooked up for that. So lots of things are happening. Mark your calendars and come on down, and you can come in here anytime, 1017 Washington Avenue. The hours are a little scattered because I'm not here all the time, but you can always call and make an appointment. W4 Divas has a scheduling program on it. The website does, w4divas.com, as does Sky's the Limit Coaching, which is my coaching business. Next week, we have Emmy Kirshner as our guest. And I'll tell you a little bit about Emmy. She is a health coach, but she specializes in working with entrepreneurs and executives. Ooh. She's been on my Diva Dialogue show a couple of times now, and she's an extraordinary woman. I really like her a lot, and I guarantee that you'll get some really good information from her. So, Greg, in closing, I'm going to give a couple scenarios, and you give the wine, okay?
Oh, boy, a stumper.
It is. So I'm going to a Christmas party that my husband's boss is having. I don't know these people, but I want to take a gift. I want to take a bottle of wine. What bottle of wine should I take?
Well, I'm not sure we can go red or white, but any kind of Napa Cabernet is always a gift that shows that, that you have an appreciation for them, somewhere between $25 and $35, big, bold red wine. That always kind of makes a little bit of a statement. Just depends on who you're trying to impress and, who the main person is for. If I was going to grab that one, how about a bottle of Robert Mondavi Napa Cabernet? Costs you about $29.
Nice.
I usually go to my daughter's for Thanksgiving, and we don't have a regular turkey. Last year we had Indian food from India food.
Fun.
So what kind of wine would go with that?
That's an easy one, because anytime you got something that's a little bit spicy,
like a curry.
There's a curry, especially. The wine to bring is a white wine, and it's called Gewürztraminer. Gewürztraminer is a wine that's fun to say, and Gewürztraminer is the name of the grape. And it's spicy and it's peppery at the same time, semi-sweet, and they always refer to it as the wine that puts out the fire. So Gewürztraminer would be the one you want.
That's my second favorite white wine.
Nicely chilled.
Okay, I am hosting a party in December because it's our anniversary and yours. It's the 4th anniversary of the show and the 3rd anniversary. It might be 3rd and 2nd anniversary of the network. And I'm going to have a bunch of cheeses and crackers. What kind of wine should I serve?
Most
wines. I agree.
Well, you're going to have to have some red. You're going to have to have some white. So maybe what we do for that is a lighter white, maybe a rosé wine, and then a medium-bodied red. And then if we're celebrating something, we got to have some sparkling wine.
That's right.
I got a great new wine that is called JP Chenet, and it's a rosé, and it's a wine. They call it Ice Edition, and it's made to be poured over ice.
Ooh,
so
fun.
It's made to be kind of diluted a little bit, and that's great for something like that.
Does
so
that
maybe
mean
we get,
that it's
and
higher?
it comes in a pink bottle.
Oh,
is it
fun.
higher in alcohol content because it has to be poured over ice?
Nope, it's a concept that Moe and Chandon, the makers of Dom Perignon, came up with a while ago. Unfortunately, their bottle costs you about $35. This one will cost you about $10.
Cool.
So maybe we'll look at that. But you want to have a little of something for everybody at a party like that, but not too much where it makes it too difficult to sort out what you want. I just wanted to add into that diva thing. We're now doing jazz at Vino Wine.
Oh, and it's good.
We have the Jim Pagel Trio, and Jim Pagel is a guitar savant, jazz player extraordinaire, travels all over the world to play jazz. So every Wednesday from 7 to 11, we do live jazz, 3-piece trio. They got the upright bass, like the kind of the hip cat stuff that we remember from the 40s and 50s. 2 guitars, no vocals to speak of. And it's nice and soothing, never too loud. You can talk, you can enjoy it. They play a lot of familiar stuff. And during the month of December, it's going to be Christmas jazz. So 7 to 11, and on that Diva night, you can not only enjoy Deb and all the Divas company, it's also our half-price wine night. So you got over 30 wines, half price, live jazz with no cover, great food, great company. So the only thing missing is you out there, listeners. Come on down and enjoy Diva night.
I'll tell you, we had a really good time last month with that jazz.
It was wonderful.